Prepare to experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply, it's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
Welcome back. It's another episode of Superhuman Radio. Today is Tuesday, which means we have the BluePrint Power Hour, which is going to start in just a second with my co-host, Coach Rob Regish. Today is August 18th, 2020. Of course, before I get started, I have to thank our title sponsor, Legendary Foods, makers of great snacks that let you feel like you're cheating, but you're not. And namely the Tasty Pastry, which is a Pop-Tart with 9 grams of protein, less than 1 gram of sugar. That should be enough for you. And it also has less than 3 to 4 impact carbs, which is even better. Go to eatlegendary.com, use the coupon code SHR10 to save 10% off and let them know you heard about them here on Superhuman Radio. And of course, this is basically a Q&A show. And if you are watching live, you can post your questions right here on Facebook, and we will work them into the show, I promise. Just be patient because we have a lot of questions that are sent in ahead of time, and we will start working towards answering those right now as we bring Coach Rob Regish on.
Calling all BluePrint Army. Fall in line. It's time for the BluePrint Power Hour with Coach Rob Regish on the Superhuman Radio Network.
How you doing, Rob?
I am doing well. I'm going to be up bright and early.
You didn't open your mic. I'm sorry. I failed to open your mic. I opened the wrong one. How are you, Rob?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good.
I'm doing well. I'm going to be up early tomorrow to bring my wife to have knee surgery. And so prayers for that would be most welcome. We're hoping to, finally get it done and get on the road to healing.
Yeah, this is she's been suffering with the pain of it for quite a long time now, huh?
It's been a long, long road. So, you can imagine how difficult it must be just to train, especially when I'm training you.
Well, and she spends all her time on her feet, right? I mean, in her job, she's up and around. It's not like she's sitting at a desk, yeah.
Yeah, a large part of it. So,
yeah. How are you doing? How's your training going?
My training's going great. I had another really good session yesterday. I feel fine today. I'll probably be ready to go again tomorrow or Thursday, just to be on the safe side. But knock on wood, no problems here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start off with the first question from Andrew Sova. He says, I'm trying to figure out how to structure West Side workouts. He means West Side barbell, and having trouble. What's the best assistance exercises for upper and lower body day? How often should I train if I'm not using, I'm assuming he means drugs. What if I don't have a glute ham raise or reverse hyper?
Well, okay. So a lot of questions, right? Unfortunately, it's very difficult to answer them, right? Either me or anybody else without some additional information. But, I need to know things like how much experience you have, your physical robustness, whether you have any injuries in equipment. In all honesty, in order to understand Westside and use Westside, I would invest in what was called at the time the Westside system, which I did long ago. So long ago, it came in the form of 4 VHS tapes. Right, and the manual. So now, alternatively, if you have someone knowledgeable that uses the Westside system in your gym or close to you, pay them. It's an investment to actually do it, but at least you'll be doing it right. And otherwise, you're going to go through a lot of brain damage and trial and error when you go ahead and attempt this. Now, the reality, though, is that most people won't invest the money either in personal training or the actual Westside system. If that's the case, I would tell you to put Westside to the side for now. Okay. Because even the best system of training is useless if it is so complicated that you can't even set it up correctly. And a lot of people with Westside have that difficulty right out of the gate. It's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. You know, I don't like complicated systems. I don't like them because, you know, you lose when you struggle to figure the system out.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get no gains, you know, guess who you blame? It's not yourself. You know, you blame the system. It's not necessarily the system's fault.
Plus, a difficult system to learn is a difficult system to apply.
Correct.
It's like I if I can't figure things out like in a couple minutes, it's like I'm not going to even try to go further than that. I just want to get into the gym and train.
Right. And so if you're having difficulty figuring it out, even how to set it up, it's going to be that much more difficult to troubleshoot when you run into issues. So look, we know Westside works. It does, I would say, more than other systems. It takes more hours of study to understand it well enough to do it correctly. And in all honesty, I still know people that after doing that, they still can't figure it out. In contrast, the vast majority of training methods you're going to hear me talk about or that I recommend in the bulletin are simple. I like simple. Simple to understand, simple to execute, simple to troubleshoot. That doesn't mean that simple methods are any less effective. They're plenty effective, as many of my folks and others can tell you. You need to be honest with yourself, though, on two fronts. And these are the two questions I think you need to answer. One, are you really willing to put time and money into learning this new training system? Or two, are you the type of person that gets analysis paralysis and can't make a decision? There are a ton of people like that. And I used to be like that. Now I avoid that by just ditching the complicated stuff. So if the answer to question number one is no, or the answer to number two is yes, then forget it and move on to something else. It is here. Let me give you one suggestion. I'll leave you with this. It's really hard to go wrong with Bill Starr's 5x5. Right.
Yeah. And it's really easy to learn too. It's just five.
Yeah.
You do a warm-up set and then you do 5 sets of 5 reps with a heavy weight that you can just eke out 5 reps. And maybe the latter sets, you only end up with 4 reps. But the goal is to get to 5 before you shift gears again. So easy.
Right. And you can do other, you can make a all-out effort on your first set, or try to add 1 rep to each set. There are a number of ways that you can make progress there. And in fact, that's what I tell guys. If you're struggling with anybody's stuff, including mine, do 5x5.
It's a good thing. Yeah, it's been around for a long time. It's been proven through the test of time. Rob Barlow says, now that most gyms have reopened, are you still using your home gym? I took mine down, and I'm really happy to be back in the gym despite the mask thing. Do you have to wear a mask in your gym?
We do, but there is some leeway. And look, if you're breathing really hard, you can take it down. I don't know if you can take it off, but you can take it down and maintain. I don't know. It's supposed to be like 12 feet instead of 6, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Why?
So
why? So why does the virus travel twice as far in a gym environment as it does in, say, a school environment, a work environment, a government office environment?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Rob goes, yeah, exactly. I know.
It makes you wonder.
I'll tell you what it is. I know what it is.
What?
Because a lot of the people in politics today were the geeks in school. They hated the jocks. They hated the weightlifters. They hated anybody that was moderately physically competent. They hated anybody with muscle. And they think that going to the gym is a wasteful, meathead experience. that you're lucky. I'm sure a lot of them feel like, well, you're lucky we even let gyms open.
Right. And if you have difficulty believing that, look where they put gyms on the reopening list.
Yeah.
Last. Dead
yeah,
last.
it should have been one of the first because
right.
It helps build the immune system.
Exactly. I'm glad you made that point. It is painfully obvious to me, and this is a side rant, I'll get to the question, but it's painfully obvious to me that the benefits of exercise, people either don't understand them or don't want to acknowledge them.
They don't want to acknowledge it because they don't want to have to do the work. They don't want to have to do the work.
And I think you're right. A lot of these people came out of higher education, and they're control freaks, and they're trying to reclaim, some sense of control. So let me get now to your question. I too am really glad, right? The gyms have reopened. Now I'm still using my home gym, not as much as I was, to a lesser extent. I would not, however, recommend taking down whatever home gym that you put up.
Right.
Because I hate to say it, in the snap of a fingers, they could all come back and say, "Oh, no, just fooling."
Or how about doing 2-a-days for a while? Now you can do 2-a-days. You go to the gym in the morning and right before dinner you bust out 15 minutes of something and then you eat.
Right. Even if you're not using it, keep it waiting in the wings. And it's useful to remember this maxim. Okay. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. That applies to a lot of things in life besides home gyms. And that
applies to handguns too.
Right.
It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Right. It served a lot of people well. So keep it. Don't change anything there. In the interim, while we're all back in these gyms, I would again make a commitment, both physically and financially, that I'm going to maximize however long they're open again, right? And there are a number of ways that you can go about this. I've spoken before about Bill Pearl's Keys to the Inner Universe. It details, I forget how many thousands of different exercises and their variations. That's going to be priceless information the next time you get hurt, because it can show you what you can do. It's also going to maximize what you can do in your home gym if we're all sent back to them. So you could buy convict conditioning in the event that you have no weights whatsoever at home. You can certainly stay big and strong with that stuff. You can buy and read The Anabolic Diet by Mauro Di Pasquale. Whether your gym's open or not, you can use it. Or The Warrior Diet, right, by Ori Hofmeckler. Or you could alternatively invest additional monies in your own home gym, just a little bit every month. And look, nobody wakes up, few people have the financial means to get a nicely equipped home gym automatically overnight. It's just a little bit every month. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested in doing that, I would go to Iron Mind's website and peruse their catalog. The equipment that they make will last you for generations, literally generations. You'll be able to hand it down. And, if you like things like the BluePrint Power Hour, you might subscribe to my newsletter. The point being, you need whatever's going to happen, bide your time and have a plan in mind. So, yeah, I'm still using my home gym and recommend you do too. My wife loves it too. I mean, she'll do it like an early morning workout, mm-hmm. and it's done for the day, right? Right. So even if you're using it for just little stuff, it has tremendous value. So I would build that up. I would build up your training library, and I would, maximize whatever time we all have left in that in the normal gym. I guarantee if you do that, I guarantee the next time this happens, you will be sitting pretty while others continue to struggle. I'd tell you, I don't know about you, but when I got back to the gym after not seeing people for 3 to 4 months, there were no small number that put on a lot of weight, a lot of weight. And others that lost a lot of size, et cetera, et cetera. Don't let that happen to you. Have a plan. That's what I'm saying.
Do you know Austin Stout? Also, my volume is, you may want to turn your volume down just a little bit because my voice is feeding back into your microphone.
Okay.
Do you know Austin Stout?
I do not.
Austin Stout is a friend of the show. I was introduced to him by Scott McNally, I believe it was. Okay. Austin has put on 50 pounds of muscle in his home gym.
That is awesome.
In probably about the past year. But his home gym is anything but his home gym. So he has a garage basically with a dirt floor, and he has collected some of the best muscle building machines I've ever seen. He's got a deadlift machine. It's a machine that you load the plates, and he got chain handles for it, so you can do neutral grip pulls, and he's got all this interesting leg equipment, and he's added to the gym over time. And I saw a picture of him this morning. I'm thinking, my God, like a couple more years, this guy's going to look like Dorian Yates, and he's doing it all in his quote unquote home gym.
That is awesome.
How old is he? He's got a full face beard right now. I can't believe he's much more than his late 20s, maybe early 30s, but he's maybe late 20s, early 30s. Yep. He just posted this morning. I was reading something. He says, I'm 50 pounds up. And he's ripped. So it's 50 pounds of muscle. It's not fat.
And you know what? By having that gym, he's set for life. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to pay one more penny, right, to a gym membership.
No, when Elisa and I buy this next house, it's absolutely going to have a huge space in it where I can build a real, the term home gym implies a secondary thought, like, and so we took this room and we put a cardio machine in it and we put some dumbbells and it's our home gym.
Right.
But then there's people like Ron and Shannon Penna. They have 2 floors. They have a cardio floor and the resistance training floor. And that's their home gym. It's like, that's a professional gym. It's just that they're the only 2 that train there. And when guests come like me, we get to train with them too. Guys like Austin Stout, they build gyms. They happen to be at their home, but it's anything but a home gym. It's not the home gym you and I think of with a Bowflex in the corner and a fan. You know what I mean? Yeah, no.
And it doesn't need to be anything elaborate. Oftentimes, the more Spartan your surroundings, the better off you are. Mm-hmm. If you had nothing but a trap bar and some free weights, you could still build a lot of muscle.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's very true. So don't be discouraged by the terminology of home gym, because there are some home gyms that I would love to train in instead of the gym I train in. Larry Rinaldi says, question for you on ecdysterone thing. Have ever hear of a product called Subecti? I found an old bottle of it in my cellar and wanted to know if you think it's still good.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Subecti is a sublingual 20-hydroxyecdysterone product. I think the company that made it was Legal Gear. Now, Legal Gear, that name is no more.
LG Sciences, they became. They went from Illegal Gear to LG Sciences.
Right, to LG Sciences. Yeah, right. And so a little bit of trivia for all you folks. They were the first company to come out with methyl 1-testosterone. And as we all remember, once that horse got out of the barn, everyone started offering it. Anyway, the owner of the company, if this is the same product I remember, the owner of the company once solicited my opinion on it, on anabolic minds. He was private messaging me. And since I knew, since I knew the original formula used solely 20H at that time, it was derived from Cyanotus vaga. So, I knew it was going to be a flop, and I told him so. I said, on the plus side, I think you have the right delivery system, but the wrong ecdysterone. He ran with it anyway, and the results were predictable. It fell flat. It didn't last long. At that point, I think the product was reformulated and rebranded as Substerone. The label claim on that product was, I'll never forget it, 69 milligrams of 20-hydroxyecdysterone and 6-keto-dioxygenate in a hydroxypropyl beta-cyclodextrin base.
Yeah, remember beta-cyclodextrin? That was the transdermal sublingual delivery for andro too. They were making andro with that stuff.
Yeah, Pat Arnold was on that first, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that product too, Substerone, fell by the wayside, and it didn't surprise me with such a low amount of actives. Now, yes, it's sublingual. More of it should be absorbed, but 69 milligrams, it takes a good 500 to 1,000 milligrams of a quality ecdy a day orally to give you an idea. So, it probably flopped because it was horribly underdosed, and it is what it is. While it's true that that's HBPD, I guess, HPBD, one or the other, cyclodextrin was the best one to be using. 69 milligrams of anything wasn't going to do jack. Now, I took a look out online, and LG Sciences is still out there. It appears that they're still pushing pro hormones, very obscure ones at that, as their cash cow products. And maybe they sell, I don't know. But interestingly, remember we talked about methoxy last week?
Yeah. Methoxyisoflavone. Yeah.
They've got a methoxyisoflavone product. So, yeah, it is coming around again like a bad case of the flu. Anyway, back to Substerone.
LG Sciences sponsored my show probably a decade ago.
Did they really?
Maybe 11 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Just for a short period of time, for maybe 5 or 6 months.
I will say this for them. Very few companies last that long.
I know.
Right?
I know.
I mean, think about that. So back to Substerone. Although 20-hydroxy is probably still good, at that milligram dose, no. And also, more importantly, the shelf life of that hydroxypropyl beta-cyclodextrin is, if it's stored properly, is 2 years. And Substerone, if I'm not mistaken, goes back to 2010, 2011, which means it's well past its expiration date. So sorry to say, it's probably not good anymore.
Yeah. I know there's so many things that we find in our garages when we start cleaning up of products that we bought at one time that gave promise of new muscle gains. And the reason they're still in your garage is because they didn't work and you threw them aside. You didn't want to throw them away because it's like it represented like $60, $70, $80, $100 investment. Like I just spent $100 on this and it didn't work, but I'll be damned if I'm going to throw the rest of it away. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have more questions. If you're watching or listening live, feel free to post your questions on Facebook or YouTube, where the show streams live. And we'll be right back with more. Stay tuned.
Fast-acting transdermal patch that targets your aches and pains for the relief you need. Not only is the patch uniquely patented, but it is widely believed to provide larger quantities of available cannabinoids to the source of pain than other brands' subpar products. Effective for 24 to 48 hours. Experience the benefits of Planet Earth's high-quality transdermal patch. Manufactured by Next Generation Technology in an FDA-registered facility. This pressure-sensitive adhesive delivers rich hemp extract directly through the skin. Be it a neck ache or a headache, you can count on CBD to take off the edge. Go to planetearthcbd.com today to learn more. Unlock your potential with the best cognitive enhancement and anti-aging supplements on the market. PureNootropics.net goes the extra mile for the highest quality ingredients, third-party tested to make sure you only receive the best your money can buy. There's no better choice with their money-back guarantee and free shipping. Try their best-selling DHM. Dihydromyricetin prevents hangovers and helps deliver detox after a night of drinking. Get your DHM and other nootropics and longevity supplements from PureNootropics.net, the purest supplements around.
Over 11 million people in the U.S. have some form of retinal damage, also known as macular degeneration. This is expected to double to nearly 22 million by 2050. Artificial blue light, age, type 2 diabetes are all contributors. Doctors say there's no cure. ARMED is changing that opinion. In one clinical trial, 93% of patients had arrested or improved their condition. 54% reported lessening of glare, reduced dryness, and improved clarity and comfort. And 0% felt worse during treatment and no side effects. Take control of your macular degeneration or keep it from ever occurring. Go to wisechoicemedicine.com and get armed today. I love beef. And if you love beef, listen up. I've discovered the best tasting beef in the world, and that's not an exaggeration, at Piedmontese.com. The Piedmontese breed is famous from Italy for being lean and unbelievably tender with half the fat and calories of traditional beef. Even typically tough cuts are tender when it comes from the Piedmontese cows. And for the first time ever, Piedmontese cows are being raised here in the USA. Get 2 free 10-ounce New York strips when you purchase $50 or more at Piedmontese.com with code SHR. Go to PIEDMONTESE.com and use code SHR today. You will never eat any other type of beef ever again. Did you know that your gut is referred to as your second brain? In fact, at least 90% of your serotonin, your happiness chemical, is created in your gut. If you don't take care of your gut, you won't feel good, period. Bioptimizers recently released Cognibiotics, a new breakthrough probiotic formula that is clinically proven to enhance your brain function, your mood, and overall mental health. Most probiotics often include conflicting strains or quantities and can cancel each other out. Cognibiotics delivers the exact strain you need in exactly the right ratios and quantities. With a 365-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee, you can try them out for yourself to start feeling the incredible difference Cognibiotics makes in your mood, mind, and performance. For an exclusive offer to my listeners, go to Cognibiotics.com/SHR. That's COGNIBIOTICS.com/SHR and use code SHR10. Whether your goal is to build muscle or burn fat, you'll find everything you need at Redcon One. Need help getting a good night's sleep? Try Fade Out, or the most popular pre-workout supplement on the market today, Total War. Sign up for their new Transformation Challenge and win $10,000. Or shop for apparel that people at the gym will know that you are serious about your training. Need a testosterone booster that works? Check out Boomstick. Whatever you need, you'll find the best quality supplements on the market at Redcon One. Go to redcon1.com. That's REDCON1.com, or go to superhumanradio.net and click the Redcon One banner ad today.
You're listening to the Superhuman Channel. Don't hate us because we feel good.
Welcome back. Just want to let everybody know, if you've been a fan of Superhuman Radio for a long time, maybe the BluePrint Power Hour, and you feel like the show has done something good for you or a family member, I'd appreciate it if you would shoot a very short video. Could be 60 seconds, 30 seconds, and tell me your SHR story. Hey, if you don't like the show, if you think I'm an ass, tell me that too. That'll make it into the mix. I promise you it will. If you don't like me, put that down too. I know lots of people on Facebook who don't like me. This is your chance, because I won't squelch your message. But if you do like no longer than 3 minutes, the max, but 60 seconds, 45 seconds, whatever it takes for you to verbalize your personal Superhuman Radio story, and then upload it to tap.bio, tap.bio/Superhuman Radio. You'll see a red banner ad there that you can click and upload the file. We will use it. I promise you we will use it. Even if you say horrible things about me, we will use it. And while you're there, all of the current sponsor offers, discounts, coupon codes are all there as well. So check it out. Okay. The next question, let's see here, comes from Matt Lawrence. He says, I'm doing high reps with shorter rest intervals these days. Is that good for anything other than getting cut? Because I hear you talking a lot about building up your 1 rep max often. Yeah, why do people think high reps is good for getting cut? Dieting is good for getting cut.
Yeah, this is a myth that needs to die, and now. Getting cut or having lower body fat levels is largely a result of your diet, almost entirely, I would say, of your diet. Now, training can certainly help, but no amount of training is going to burn fat if you're eating well over maintenance levels of calories or you're eating crap food. So the question, though, is, I guess, what do you gain by training lighter and faster? Well, that depends, because it takes many different forms. So let's go over some of them, because this is useful information. The total tonnage method. You've heard me talking about that over and over as a great way to stimulate muscle growth. So if you're doing trap bar deadlifts, you're doing, 5 sets of 10, 2-minute rest intervals, and you lift a total of 13,000 pounds in 13 minutes, well, that gives you a number, a very important number, 1,000 pounds per minute. That's what you demanded of your muscles to lift. Consistently up that number from workout to workout, and you will stimulate muscle growth and plenty of it. Now, another type of lighter type training and faster training you've heard me talk about is LAT, or lactic acid tolerance training. And in that example, you are stacking 4 to 7, let's say, compound exercises, either body weight or, machines or free weights, back to back with no rest, then rest a minute, rinse, wash, repeat. From session to session there, you can up the number of exercises, the amount of weight you use, the reps, the sets, or the number of rounds, which is probably the best way to do it. And that's how you're going to make progress. And in particular, if you're talking about fat burning, that's probably the most powerful, quote unquote, light and fast method, given its effect on blood lactate levels and consequently growth hormone production. Now, a third type, very, very helpful, useful type, is lighter fat, what they call speed work, right? What Louis Simmons calls speed work. We're getting back to West Side. Speed work essentially maximizes or addresses the acceleration part of the force equals mass times acceleration equation. It's going to make you stronger, given it teaches your nervous system to have a much faster rate of what's called force development. We all know the example, right? A 10-pound plate, put it on your toe, doesn't hurt. Drop it from 6 feet, boom, broken toe. What's the difference? Speed. Okay. So those are 3 really good examples of light and fast. And I would tell you that all 3 of them have one common denominator, though. They will build your work capacity, which is the ability to do a greater amount of work in a shorter period of time, which gets us back to what? Triggering muscle growth. Right.
I was gonna say metabolic effects of exercise.
And that too, right? So there are a myriad of benefits, but when you talk about lighter, faster, be prepared to put a finer point on it, because it matters, right? Each one of those 3 things that I just described to you has different training effects. So one last suggestion. If you're going to train in one of those 3 fashions, I would return to lifting very heavy weights for low reps every 3rd or 4th workout. And why? Because it keeps your central nervous system in touch with the heavy weights. It's also going to give your body and your mind a break from the high volume stuff, and it'll seem like a vacation.
And you'll need it. Yeah, you'll need it too, because when you're doing a lot of high volume stuff like Tabata type stuff, you have to do that sparingly, unless, if I could not feel guilty about training the way I want to train. And what I mean by that is, like, I have other things that I'm supposed to be doing. Like I can't, sometimes when I'm training, I'm thinking, I should be doing this, or I should be at the studio editing that show or something like that. But if I had a clear mind to train the way I want to train, I'd wake up first thing in the morning. I would do my fasted cardio. I'd have my first meal. I'd go to the gym and I'd train. I'd have a post-workout meal. I'd take a nap. When I woke up from that nap, I might go out and maybe walk the hills or do some sort of progressive cardiovascular exercise, because the metabolic effects of exercise enhance the muscle building effects of exercise. They work hand in hand. We have been robbed of this fact by a bodybuilding myth. And I say a myth, and let me qualify that. It's not a myth if you're doing hours and hours of cardio and starving yourself trying to get cut or drop weight for a show. You're going to lose a lot of muscle. You are. But if you are training hard, eating the calories you need, eating the protein you need, and getting the rest you need, and that's the magic right there. Do you know that Michael Hearn, for decades, goes home and sleeps after he trains in the morning?
Smart man.
Of course, because when you think of the lion on the Serengeti, the lion gets up in the morning and it starts moving. And now it's like, okay, it's hunting. Oh, it runs down, catches a gazelle, fills its belly. What does it do after it fills its belly, Rob?
Sleeps.
Finds a tree in the shade, lays down, and does what lions do best, goes to sleep. Have any of us forgotten that the opposite of fight or flight is rest and digest? Think about that for a second. Science calls it rest and digest for a reason, because when you're digesting your food, you're better off resting. You're better off sitting still and relaxing and gazing at the sky, or closing your eyes and dozing off, because this tells your body a couple things. It tells it, hey, we live in a good environment where we're not afraid. We could take a nap after eating. We don't have to be on the run. But more importantly, it allows you to metabolize food better.
Yep. It's probably no accident that big meals make you sleepy.
They make lions sleepy. They make bears sleepy. They make everything sleepy. Only humans go, I have to keep going. I must keep going. I got to get to work. And then after that, I got to pick the kids up from school. And then I said to Adele Musa probably 8 years ago, I wonder, so we know that if you have a meal and you move, it will burn up sugar faster and lower blood sugar levels. So I said to Adele, I wonder if after a big meal, after training, you have a big post-workout meal, you take a nap, insulin rises, glucose rises. I wonder if you're more anabolic by taking a nap after
growth hormone.
Well, but more importantly, insulin, right? Everybody's trying to jack insulin up after a workout. I'm telling you, if you're listening to me right now and you're a young guy, maybe you're 16, 17 years old, you go to high school and you want to put on muscle, just try this for 6 months. Train in the morning, have your post-workout meal, train hard, train really, really hard as you can. Have your post-workout meal, go grab a 20-minute nap. Just start doing that. Your mom's going to get mad at you. Oh, you lazy bastard. Why aren't you? Say, Mom, I'm going to get up in 20 minutes and I'm going to get everything done. But you try that for 6 months and I guarantee you put on muscle. I only found out, I was actually texting with Mark Bell and we were talking about this. I said, I tend to believe that taking a nap after training and after your post-workout meal has to help you build muscle faster. He said, Michael Hearn's been doing it for 30 years.
Yep. Dr. Michael Colgan, in his book, Optimum or Ultimate Sports Nutrition, one or the other, Highly, highly recommended. He said train twice daily, sleep at least twice daily, 3 times if you can swing it. Now, not many people can swing it, but it's just what you said. When you sleep, when does your body repair muscle? When you sleep.
So isn't it best to start repairing muscle right after the workout instead of that night?
It's going to be a tall order for a lot of people though, because their pre-workouts have so much caffeine in them. Yeah.
No, you're right about that. You're really right about that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. The next question, Steve Stewart, he says, of all the natural anabolics you've used, what really works best?
The best natural anabolic I ever used, in fact, the best anabolic period that I've ever used, is 20 times your body weight in calories. If you can't gain eating consistently like that, then there is something very wrong with either your training, your rest, or both. Or you, God forbid, you have some underlying like tapeworm or something. Now, how powerful is eating big? Check this out, because this was really interesting. I found one study. It was 12 days. Okay. It was reported in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, titled Changes in Macronutrient Balance During Over and Under Feeding, Assessed by 12-Day Continuous Whole Body Calorimetry, or whatever.
Calorimeter.
It was shown that when these male test subjects went from eating a maintenance diet up to an overfeeding diet, which averaged 3,600 calories a day, they gained 4.38 pounds of lean muscle and put on just 2 pounds of fat. That means these people gained twice as much, muscle as they did body fat. And here's the kicker. They didn't train once in those 12 days. And no, they weren't overtrained prior to the study and therefore super compensating either. I checked for that. The fact that they were eating 3,600 calories a day tells us that they weren't quite 200 pounds, but that's not, they didn't grab a bunch of 100-pound weaklings and overfeed them either.
Mm-hmm.
So, think about it. Basically, adding calories to your diet is anabolic, and not just in the sense of increased insulin levels, although I'm sure, that plays a role. Here's what they found. They found a very significant rise in all muscle building hormone levels. Okay. Now, keep in mind, this isn't like shooting tests or whatever. These are biologically perfect hormones made by your body for your body, all in perfect concert with each other, the way it was meant to be. Okay. So that's number one, eating big. And I would tell you this, I'm going to talk about supplements, but until you do that consistently, in some cases for many years, you're never going to reap the benefits that you should. Okay. Next, we get to supplements. There are a few that I've used consistently over the past 20, 30 years. 2 of those are essential amino acids and ecdysterol. Okay. For whatever reason, I know I'm not the only one, I recover ridiculously fast. And most people that use it, that aren't using it, it's a real eye opener. And so what does that allow me to do? That allows me to get a very high number of productive workouts in a very short period of time, which can really accelerate your progress. When I stop using ecdysterol, that number usually falls, the number of workouts that I can get in any particular time period usually falls by about a third. Okay. Sometimes half, depending upon what kind of training I'm doing, which is more than okay, because if you think about it, it is a form of accumulation and intensification type training. And if you've never done that, I would highly suggest that you experiment with it, which is pretty cool because, you know, you're using a supplement that works with your physiology, even when you're not taking it. It's also worth pointing out that whenever I am using essential aminos and Ecti, I tend to have my best workouts and hit more PRs for longer stretches of time. And that's no coincidence. It's happened almost every time in the last 20 years. Other things that I particularly like anacyclus pyrethrum for the reasons that we stated earlier, which is it makes you hungry, at least most people. Increases your hunger levels, which is going to increase your calories, which increases anabolic activity. It also does a really nice job, in my opinion, of allowing you to eat more carbohydrates without them showing up on your waistline, which is an issue with me anyway. I wish I had that stuff when I was younger. I didn't. So for that and other reasons, it's an ingredient that I use in Progenitrex. I will use creatine, but only sparingly, you know. And I usually have something to use with it to get the most out of it. And when I say that, I mean, you know, I'm using things like fenugreek or you know, some other maybe a glucose disposal agent, or something that holds food in your digestive tract longer, which increases creatine absorption. Basically, I do really well on a combination of essential aminos and a short list I've found of adaptogenic herbs. There's ecdysterone, that's the best one of them. Rhodiola is another one, you know, et cetera, et cetera. They are not miracles. They're never going to be miracles, but they make a difference. And over time, that adds up. It really does. So I would tell you in closing, find something that helps with the following two things: tissue repair and central nervous system recovery. You can, if you were looking for a one-word answer, recovery. I don't care what it is. If you have to stand on your head and eat Pop-Tarts to recover in half the time, then do it. It's going to make a huge, huge difference in how fast you gain and whether or not I think you achieve your goals. Much, much easier training on those things for me than not training on those. So
we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have the BluePrint tip of the day. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
New Mass Pro Synthogen X2 just upped its own legendary game. To distance itself even further from the rest of the pack, Synthogen X2 now has double the key active ingredients. If you've ever wondered what steroid-like recovery feels like, Synthogen X2 delivers. See why others compare it favorably to powerful bodybuilding drugs at synthogen.com. Mass Pro Synthogen. When you train with it, you'll gain with it.
Everybody wants to feel better, be healthier and happier. If you don't sweat profusely on a regular basis, you won't feel as good as you could. Studies have shown the power of infrared sauna. Infrared penetrates 1 to 2 inches into the body. It helps those with back pain, fibromyalgia, arthritis, depression, and anxiety. Patients get relief from infrared sauna. The Good Health Sauna has been shown to be an exercise mimetic, conveying many of the same benefits as cardio. There are a lot of reasons people buy a Good Health Sauna, but the bottom line is you will be a much happier, healthier person by using the Good Health Sauna every day. You'll crave it, you'll love it, and it will be the best purchase you have ever made. Good Health Saunas provide commercial-grade saunas for in-home and commercial use, backed by the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Unmatched customer service and the best financing makes owning one easy and will fit any budget. Go to goodhealthsauna.com/superhumanradio to learn more and save 25% off. You've heard me talk about the chill pill on the show and how effective it is at helping people who suffer from social anxiety, or sometimes when you just want to take the edge off to a long, stressful day. Well, listen to this story from Dylan Goutreau.
Definitely takes anxiety away, which I have a long history of having. Started out at 2 milligrams a day of Xanax. That was at 8 years old. And so I stopped using benzos 3 years ago. Extremely difficult. Yeah, so I spent about 3 years trying to find anything and everything I could that would be healthy for me to help with anxiety. Because I'm talking, full out panic attack. The chill pill was the first thing that I found that actually in the middle of a panic attack I can take, and it definitely subsides.
Go to drseeds.com. That's DRSEEDS.com. Use coupon code SHR and save 20% off your first bottle of the chill pill. Check it out. I promise this is one supplement that delivers.
Quest Nutrition makes bars, cookies, chips, and pizzas out of complete dairy-based proteins. Our products minimize net carbs and sugar without sacrificing taste. Each delicious chocolate-flavored chip, cookie chunk, and crunchy crumble is custom made to maintain Quest macros. It's time to enjoy foods that work for you, not against you. It's time to enjoy your Quest.
Do you remember those delicious toaster pastries you had when you were a kid? You know, the rectangular sugar-filled snacks? Well, guess what? Legendary Foods has just made low-carb toaster pastry. This is the first of its kind, and honestly, these things are amazing. They have 3 to 4 net carb, less than 1 gram of sugar, and 9 grams of protein. You can eat them right out of the wrapper or lightly toast them. The only question is, which flavor, strawberry or brown sugar cinnamon? They're available at eatlegendary.com and Amazon. Are you still on the fence about Body Protection Complex BPC Oral from drseeds.com? Listen to Maggie Kuhn, one of the owners of the C-Bus Lifting Company gym in Columbus, Ohio.
I had been having some nagging tendon issues that weren't injuries, just things that were annoying. I'm 58 years old, so just older tendon kind of issues. For us powerlifters, we really don't stop training when we have just nagging issues. We just kind of keep pushing through. And I started the BPC. What I noticed was I was doing some heavy tricep stuff that would have killed me before when I had an elbow problem, and I was able to do that with literally no pain at all.
Go to drseeds.com, drseeds.com. Use coupon code SHR and save 20% off your bottle of BPC Body Protection Complex today.
This is the Superhuman Channel. Evolution just got kicked up a notch.
Welcome back. Ian Musgrove asked the question. We're not going to have time to get to it today. But Ian, if you look for my show 2045 done in June of 2017 from with Anthony Roberts, you'll get the answer you want about nicotine gum. So just check that out, please. We just don't have the time to get to that question today. So back at it here. What do we have for the blueprint tip of the day, Coach?
Well, it's a bit of a rant, but it's about how knowledge can trump even hard work. And so there are a lot of people in the gym that I see trying to build muscle, complaining that they're getting nowhere and they're just spinning their wheels. That's just the way it seems like it's been that way ever since I started. And sadly, it'll probably be that way well into the future. Why this is, I'm not certain. I'm really not. From a practical perspective, the information is out there. And it's not rocket science, right? You don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar to figure this out, because for over 100 years, we have known that the physiological trigger for muscle growth is overload. It's not how many times you train every week. It's not whether or not you get a pump. And it's not how many different angles you can train your muscles, right, through. It's overload. Now, true, there are many, many different ways to create overload. And so if, you should be able to, in quick succession, rattle off at least half a dozen. Total tonnage method, which I mentioned earlier, adding just 1 to 5 pounds a week to each movement, building up your 1 rep max, either through a program like Westside or through one of my loading patterns, performing more work per unit of time, keeping up the same rate of work longer. For example, I said before, you lifted 1,000 pounds per minute for 13 minutes. You do it for 15, you got stronger. holding a heavy weight motionless, right? Statics. You mentioned Tabata, ladders. The list just, it goes on and on and on, right? I just rattled off half a dozen. If you gave me more time, I bet you I'd be able to rattle off plenty more. None of these systems that I just mentioned requires any type of genius to use. The most difficult one from a calculation perspective is total tonnage. And if I can do it, if I can do that math, anybody can. Even if you're incapable of doing it, today you have your phone and or all of these different apps that can. It is ridiculously simple. When you understand and use these methods, you will spend the same or quite likely less amount of time in the gym as you do today. The only difference being you actually accomplish something. Now, it's almost 2:00. When I leave here, I'll probably get to the gym about 2:30. I've got a chin-up workout today. I can tell you that it's going to take me precisely 7 minutes. And then I'm going to walk out. And I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people there, the same ones complaining that they can't do chin-ups, that have been there for 3 hours and figure, what the hell? He was only here for 5 minutes. He's not going to get anywhere. Meanwhile, on this program, it's a month after starting it, and I'm tripling with what my 1 rep max was. Actually, quadrupling, because I got for last time. When you really look into it, it is ridiculously simple, okay? But nobody's doing it, or at least not many people. Here's something else, and this is what really blows my mind. I can't think of another activity like this. One of the hardest lessons that I learned in strength training is this. You can absolutely bury yourself with a barbell, meaning train to your absolute breaking point and get nothing in return. In fact, it's worse than that. You can go backwards. I can recall workouts, and this is no exaggeration, where I could not walk for 30 minutes afterwards. We've all had those workouts where you're thrown up into the garbage pail. And sadly, I've hospitalized myself 5 times doing stuff like this. And in most of those cases, in all of those cases with rhabdo, I lost muscle. So how is that possible? It's possible because without the knowledge of what to do and how things work, your efforts, even superhuman efforts, will all be in vain. And that's why I get on here every week and I implore people to expand their knowledge base. If none of those overload methods that I just mentioned are familiar to you, then you got some work to do, right? Unless you can give me a half a dozen others, you need to know them cold like the back of your hand and have them waiting in the wings for when things go south, okay? That example about I'm going to go in, the workout's going to take 7 minutes, but I'm going to get more done than somebody that's been there for 3 hours. In fact, maybe the last 3 years. It's not the amount of time that you spend at the gym. It's what you do while you're there. I could show these folks in 5 minutes how to make more progress than they've made in years. And that's no exaggeration. You can't fudge strength. There's no denying actual muscle growth over months. And I can show it to people mathematically, as I did in the total tonnage example. Remember, it's not how often you're there. It's not how long you're there. It's what you do while you're there. I'll leave you with this. Take this advice, please. Be a voracious student of this game. Invest in information, whether it's my stuff or somebody else's, okay? Because provided it's good info, it's not only going to serve you for a lifetime, but it's going to save you from wasting, in some cases, years, which I did doing trial and error, right?
That's great stuff. Great stuff.
It's, I don't know about you, but I've had those stretches where I've absolutely killed myself training and gone nowhere.
Yeah, everybody has it. You learn to start training smarter. Go to CoachRobRegish.com today to learn more about all the things that Rob is doing. His writings are there. Go to CoachRobRegish.com today. Be stronger tomorrow. Rob, thanks for everything, brother.
Thank you.
We're going to take one quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by the guys from Piedmontese, Certified Piedmontese. We're going to talk about a couple of new things they have at the website, and also why buying your beef online is possibly way better than buying your beef in a grocery store. Savory Snacks Original Biltong is the healthier alternative to sugar-laden beef jerky. Their sugar-free biltong is seasoned and then air-dried for up to 2 weeks, providing you with one of the most tender and flavorful meat snacks that you've ever had. They also use a fattier cut of beef, which adds to the tenderness and gives their biltong even better flavor. Select Savory Snacks Original Biltong is the perfect snack or travel companion for your busy life. Get a free meat snack sample pack with every order of $75 or more. Get yours today at selectsavory.snacks.com/SHR. Use code SHR free. Everybody wants to feel better, be healthier, and happier. If you don't sweat profusely on a regular basis, you won't feel as good as you could. Studies have shown the power of infrared sauna. Infrared penetrates 1 to 2 inches into the body. It helps those with back pain, fibromyalgia, arthritis, depression, and anxiety. Patients get relief from infrared sauna. The Good Health Sauna has been shown to be an exercise mimetic, conveying many of the same benefits as cardio. There are a lot of reasons people buy a Good Health Sauna, but the bottom line is you will be a much happier, healthier person by using the Good Health Sauna every day. You'll crave it, you'll love it, and it will be the best purchase you have ever made. Good Health Saunas provide commercial-grade saunas for in-home and commercial use, backed by the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Unmatched customer service and the best financing makes owning one easy and will fit any budget. Go to goodhealthsauna.com/superhumanradio to learn more and save 25% off. Chronic stress leaves us tired, distracted, and physically vulnerable. Apollo Neuro is here to help you take control. Apollo Neuro is a new wearable that trains your nervous system to be more resilient to stress. Apollo's gentle vibrations use your sense of touch to help you recover from stress, going from fight or flight to rest and digest so you can relax, get to sleep, focus, and stay healthy. Developed by physicians and neuroscientists, Apollo Neuro has been tested in multiple clinical trials and is proven to improve heart rate variability, the key biometric of stress. Special offer for friends of Superhuman Radio. Try Apollo Neuro today and get 15% off your purchase at apolloneuro.com/superhuman. That's APOLLONEURO.com/superhuman. Select Savory Snacks Original Biltong is the healthier alternative to sugar-laden beef jerky. Their sugar-free biltong is seasoned and then air-dried for up to 2 weeks, providing you with one of the most tender and flavorful meat snacks that you've ever had. They also use a fattier cut of beef, which adds to the tenderness and gives their biltong even better flavor. Select Savory Snacks Original Biltong is the perfect snack or travel companion for your busy life. Get a free meat snack sample pack with every order of $75 or more. Get yours today at selectsavorysnacks.com/SHR. Use code SHR free. Whether your goal is to build muscle or burn fat, you'll find everything you need at Redcon One. Need help getting a good night's sleep? Try Fade Out, or the most popular pre-workout supplement on the market today, Total War. Sign up for their new Transformation Challenge and win $10,000, or shop for apparel that people at the gym will know that you are serious about your training. Need a testosterone booster that works? Check out Boomstick. Whatever you need, you'll find the best quality supplements on the market at Redcon One. Go to redcon1.com. That's REDCON1.com, or go to superhumanradio.net and click the Redcon One banner ads today. Are you still on the fence about Body Protection Complex BPC Oral from drseeds.com? Listen to Maggie Kuhn, one of the owners of the C-Bus Lifting Company gym in Columbus, Ohio.
I had been having some nagging tendon issues that weren't injuries, just things that were annoying. You know, I'm 58 years old, so just older tendon kind of issues. For us powerlifters, you know, we really don't stop training when we have just nagging issues. We just kind of keep pushing through. And I started the BPC. What I noticed was I was doing some heavy tricep stuff that would have killed me before when I had an elbow problem, and I was able to do this with literally no pain at all.
Go to drseeds.com, DRSEEDS.com. Use coupon code SHR and save 20% off your bottle of BPC Body Protection Complex today.
You're listening to the Superhuman Channel. We're ripped and we're ready.
Welcome back.
Hey, Carl.
That looks like a photograph. We're joined by Ben Mohl and Joe Finnegan from Piedmontese, the people who changed my opinion of what beef is. How you guys doing?
We're doing real well. We moved out to our new facility here in Lincoln, where we have a restaurant and retail shop that will be opening to the public very soon. So we're excited for the community here in Lincoln.
Oh, man, we got to come and do a live remote from the restaurant. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. That's great. So there's a lot of exciting things going on. So you have the new location, which is obviously bigger and more equipped to do the business that you've been doing. You have the retail location and the restaurant, so people can sit down and have a great meal made from the finest beef in the world, certified Piedmontese. But you've added a new form of animal protein to the list, haven't you?
Yeah, we just, as of last week, we one of the processors that we work with has a product called Great Range Bison. So it's raised here in the Midwest as well. So we're big believers in a lot of good proteins, and they fit along with an all-natural program to fit. So it is a very lean product, and I know people looking for bison, but certainly not as tender as our beef. But we have that up on our site, and people bought it pretty quick. We ran out of our tenderloins in about a few days, so it was really surprising.
So talk about how bison is raised. Is it just typically grass pastured, or do they feed it corn or alfalfa? How do they feed them?
Yeah, so there's a lot of health halo around bison in how that's produced, but they're treated similar to cattle. I mean, they're all typically raised on pastures, but they are finished like a normal cow would be, and usually is via corn or a grain-based diet at the end. There certainly would be some programs out there that would be grass start to finish, but you'd end up with probably a very lean and very tough, not as flavorful bison product. But
So
still inherently lean.
Are people buy bison because they feel it's lean, but you and I and Joe know that there's really no leaner beef than Piedmontese. So if they've been eating Piedmontese beef all this time and now they order bison, are they going to be let down? Are they going to be like, wait a minute, I think I like the beef better?
It's just protein diversification within your diet, because, Ben and I can eat red meat and certified Piedmontese until we're blue in the face. But, some other folks, enjoy chicken, turkey, or bison, even fish if they're not eating solely a red meat diet. So it's just diversification.
And you're right. I like to show where Piedmontese falls in the spectrum of proteins. We have Wagyu on our website, and for the folks that expect fat for that tenderness and flavor, or they expect that bison for leanness, our beef fits the perfect mold between both worlds, but you're doing the beef. So the bison product is great, for folks that, want that super, super lean, but you can get that with our regular beef program. So I just kind of like to show where our beef fits in and where you can expect to pay for it and get exactly what you're looking for as a lean, tender protein.
We're going to promote a special offer. I'm going to promote it now because we're going to talk about beef here for a second. But we have a special offer to the Superhuman Nation. It's if you go to the website shrnetwork.biz/save25 and use the code SHR, you'll get 25% all of the Piedmontese beef that's available on the website. Again, it's shrnetwork.biz/save25. Use code SHR for 25% off. Because now we're going to talk about beef for a second. And this is something I actually happen to know because I happen to have a little background, not background working within, but knowledge about the people who sell beef online. And there are a lot of people who think that going to a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's or their local Kroger store, that buying the beef in the store is actually fresher, better, and so on. That's really not true, is it? When you buy a beef from an online processor, which you guys are processors, this is the difference. You're processing the beef. You have the first hands that touch it and the last hands that touch it. It's actually much better to buy beef from you guys than in the store, right?
Yeah, certainly depends on what you're looking for. And it's certainly no knock against the retail communities out there that or even sell our product. But, for us, when we, harvest and fabricate our animals, we are portioning and freezing like immediately. So like this product that you're getting is locked in at its peak freshness. You know, and it's been in our hands the whole time, blast frozen, kept super frozen all the way to your doorstep. You know, so when you open that up, I mean, it's going to perform fresh as the first day it hit, where in a retail setting, it could be sitting in the case for a week. You know, they could have been sprayed in the case to keep its red color. You know, eventually then it's on sale. Like the freshness dwindles by every minute that passes, to where when you buy it off our website, we locked that freshness in, you know, a few weeks or a couple months ago.
You know,
So-
to build on. I was just going to say here.
You're probably going to answer my question anyway. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say at the retail level too, you know, because beef, you know, at a retail level gets a really bad rap when it goes to the freezer. But why does it go to the freezer? It goes to the freezer because it does not maintain a fresh shelf life anymore. So they're forced to move it to the freezer without compromising, you know, the integrity of the product to make someone sick. So I think people kind of draw that same correlation to online beef because it comes frozen, when in fact it's probably fresher than it would be in the grocery store.
So from the time, so when a beef is processed, okay, from the time that your crew starts parting it out, cutting it into strip steaks and all that sort of stuff, that's literally minutes after this animal was still alive, technically, right? I mean, I want to encapsulate the idea of freshness here for a second, so everybody's gonna have to stick with me for a second, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you probably have one of these very large, it's almost like a warehouse, that you then wrap and palletize this fresh beef that literally was still alive a little while ago, and it literally freezes in like 6 or 7 hours. It's like a solid block of ice, right?
Yep. So by the time the animal's harvested, then it's typically would go through a fabrication process where it's, you know, broken down into subprimals or boxed beef, then would immediately be shipping out to our retailers. The stuff that then comes to us is immediately portioned and froze, usually about a 24-hour process from cut to within, you know, complete frozen status. So certainly we're just within a few days is, you know, pretty typical in the industry. So it still takes a while to break down a full animal. But yeah, as soon as we get it, it's portioned immediately and froze. And, you know, during the pandemic when we were, you know, everyone was pretty much getting steaks that were processed within 10 days. You know, for us, our products have shelf stable, you know, up to the year on the package. But I mean, for us, we both have steaks that, you know, that have that good seal in there that we've been eating for 2 years.
Oh yeah, anybody who has a deep freeze knows that. I mean, the steak doesn't go bad, and if it's sealed properly, no crystals of ice get in there. It's just as great as the day you brought it home.
Yeah, and our favorite part is what we call our value add, and it's why we kind of moved to that 25% off, because we want people to enjoy more than just the strip steaks. But when we portion our strips or our ribs or our sirloins, you know, we end up with a few, you know, chunks of steak that don't fit our spec. Well, that's the stuff that we use for our stew beef or kebabs, is you're getting chunks of ribeye, New York strip, sirloins, where in the grocery store, you're typically getting it from the ends or the rounds that are just tough and hard to sell. So when you buy stew beef, kebab, stir-fry beef, you're getting basically mini steaks. And so those are great for meal prep items. You know, for folks that want to graduate up a little bit from ground beef, those are such great products to include in a consistent, healthy diet if you're not always wanting to go eat high off the hog, as they say.
Yeah,
and they're ready in minutes as well, so it's
right.
Really convenient for.
I took 2 pounds of ground beef this weekend. We had company come over, and so Elisa wanted to do a Mediterranean themed dinner, and I took 2 pounds of ground beef and added a couple eggs. Now I'm going to read this real fast. I added a couple eggs. I added some cinnamon, believe it or not. I added. I thought I had the recipe here. I texted it to somebody. I added cinnamon, cumin, garlic powder, ground black pepper, and shaved and diced onion, and rolled up those meatballs just using the beef. You know, no other type of meat, and everybody raved. They couldn't believe how good these little meatballs tasted. They tasted just like if you went to a Mediterranean restaurant and you ordered an expensive Mediterranean meal and it had a couple meatballs on it. They were fantastic. You know, shame on me for not taking pictures of it and putting it on social media. Elisa said to me, why didn't you put that on social media? Because we now have a social media gal that she's like, Carl, send me stuff. I said, I don't know. But by the time they were done cooking, I wanted to eat them. I wasn't thinking about taking pictures of them. They were so good. Yeah, there's no beef in the world like Piedmontese. There's no beef in the world like it.
Especially with our ground beef, it just retains moisture very well. So you're not really having to add, the ground pork to it to give it flavor and moisture. So, I mean, you're right. The 85 is such a good one. I've done a lot of where I've blended 96 for ground beef with our 85 and to make those into meatballs. So it's just really good options. But making them in our patties that we have on our website, we have a new patty that we just put on. It's called Hot Dotty Patty. It's a burger chain restaurant, primarily in Texas, but it's a blend of 75% meat to 25% fat. So it's got a higher fat content for the folks out there, like the keto folks that really want it, and they are dynamite. Probably not ones you can eat every day, but
almost sounds like a Wagyu patty.
Yeah, when it comes to ground beef, it's all just based on the percentage of fat.
Yes,
but yeah, still all Piedmontese in there. But they can be nice fireballs on the grill. But they're such flavorful patties, and they come in a big 20-pound case, so they're really meant for people wanting. If they're bulk eaters of patties or ground beef, that's a really good option, especially if you're wanting a little bit more extra fat in the product.
So right now, my audience has 25% off, which is an amazing savings because, number one, if you look at Piedmontese beef and you look at some of these other beef buying clubs, their prices are actually better on a lot of things, number one. Number two, 25% off everything, all beef products on their website. You use the URL shrnetwork.biz/save25 and the code SHR and load up your shopping cart and save 25% off. That's outstanding. That puts expensive steaks into the realm of budget steaks, by the way, when you think about that.
Yeah, and since the last time that we've talked, Carl, we actually restocked our Dynasty selection of products. Which is our full blood animals of Piedmontese. So they contain 2 copies of that gene specific to the Piedmontese breed. So we have a full line of those products available on the website as well.
Those are excellent. They're even leaner, even more tender, but obviously even more rare. So those, if you want a little step above and get a true, more Italian heritage type of experience, that is the way to go. The color on those is so beautiful because it's no fat, but it's so lean. But you're so surprised at how well they hold their tenderness.
It's incredible. The New York strip that we have out of the Dynasty line, the center cut New York strip, has 1 gram of fat and over 50 grams of protein, and that's per steak. So per 8-ounce serving.
Wow, that's amazing.
We got about 2-inch thick cut on those things. They're almost like filet mignons. But they are so terrific for a reverse sear, or you could smoke it and then grill it at the end. They're such a fine steak to have.
And darn near fork tender as well. So
that's wonderful. Yeah, the Piedmontese beef is much more tender than people think when they think about beef. It's astounding to me because even the cuts of beef that people buy because they're less expensive and they feel like, well, it's just going to be tougher, but it's cheaper. When it comes from the Piedmontese breed, they're all tender. It's almost like it defeats the purpose. Why buy a filet mignon when you can buy a New York strip and have like a giant filet mignon? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we opt for more of the strips ourselves and the sirloins because the filet you're paying a pretty good price for what the market pays out there. But you're right. I mean, we are not a commodity program, and a lot of folks, when they see, wow, your beef's expensive. It's because they're trying to attribute to what they would see in the grocery store from a commodity or the Tysons or the Cargills of the world. It's them to know that there's nothing wrong with that beef, but we're a premium breed program. We're not based on commodity pricing.
Right.
And so you're not going to pay $2 a pound on something, so you're tasting the difference, you're seeing the difference, and it certainly performs. And, the hope that the 25% off can really make it affordable for everybody out there who's really wanting to have a healthier beef. And, the fact that we ship it to your door and, all orders over $99 shipped for free too. So keep that in mind. So with your discount, if you order $135 worth of product, it'll ship out the door for free for basically $101. So you're going to get a smoking box right to your doorstep, knowing that there's a lot of care that went along the way to get it.
And everybody confirms one of the problems we had with one of these beef buying clubs years ago was everybody complained that when the beef showed up, it was thawed out. And everybody that I talked to about Piedmontese says it's solid like a rock when it gets to their house. And so you guys have that down. That's an art.
We try, and not that we've went through a lot of research to get it, and we're coming out with the more eco-friendly coolers that can be. One of them is actually can flush down the toilet or right down the sink. It dissolves with water. But obviously sometimes we're still at the mercy of the shipper. Whether it be UPS or FedEx. If they smash the cooler, it can compromise the coldness in there. But
sure,
we stand behind the product, and we operate a very efficient process. So the odd times that someone says, "Hey, it didn't show up as frozen as you say," we take care of them. But it's usually under 1% of all orders that we ship.
Right.
So,
and there's extenuating circumstances. Like, with COVID-19, that was supposed to show up on Wednesday. It didn't show up till Thursday.
Yes. For the poor souls living in New York during the Corona, that was tough. We really did our best to try and get it there in 2 days. We even overnighted some and took that cost on to try and get in there, but it was tough. But we did it. And like I said, everything's in much better shape now. It's just a little madness there, I guess, for those folks in mainly Manhattan.
The 5 boroughs were crazy.
Oh, yeah. I want to clear something up, too, real quick, because I want to make sure that people understand this. When we talk about commodity beef, we're talking about that stuff that's like $2.99 a pound for ground chuck or chopped meat that you see at your grocery store level or Kroger's. But Piedmontese beef is comparable in price and quite often less than grass-fed, grass-finished beef at like a Whole Foods or even at your grocery store. See, more and more grocery stores are now, they understand that people want it. They have their regular commodity beef, and then, they'll have chopped meat, and it's $3.99 a pound. And then they'll have grass-fed, grass-finish, and it's $6.99 a pound. And so when you think about Piedmontese beef, don't think about that. I'm sorry, you guys didn't say this. I said it. That crud beef that is, a couple bucks a pound. Think about it. If they can sell it to you for $2.99 a pound, what's it really worth? Because they're making money on that. Just think about that. But when you look at Piedmontese beef, look at it and compare it to the beef that is considered the expensive beef in the stores that you wish you could buy or you buy for special occasions. Well, you can afford to eat it all the time if you buy it from certified Piedmontese, and especially if you use the code SHR to save 25% off. So it's I want to make sure, because I know that you guys are all about under promising and overperforming. I know that about you, right? And when I compared it to the store level beef, you were like, well, it's not a commodity. Yeah, but let's identify commodity beef. Commodity beef is the stuff you don't want to buy. It's that chopped meat in the tube, for $2.99 a pound. You don't really want to eat that. That's not what you want to eat. You'd rather eat a better from a better animal, and this is the opportunity to do that and get commodity beef type prices, quite frankly. The other thing I wanted to mention was we're promoting the beef, we're promoting the bison, but you guys still have the chicken, right?
We have their chicken sausages right now.
Okay.
We hope to have back when they can get what they call their skin packaging back on, so it's coming back sealed trays, that we can start shipping that again. Right now, it's just like what you see in the supermarket, and they're not to ship friendly, I suppose. The package would pop in the cooler, and it's really disappointing because it's such a great product. So when we do have it, we'll certainly let our customers know that it's out there. But their chicken sausages, it's funny, the owner of our company has it every day. They're really good. Good for breakfast, lunch, supper, or cut up into pastas. There's a lot of cool flavors up there as well. We'll, I think, continue to expand our protein line. I don't think we'll ever get into the realm of desserts and pastas and all that. We're really kind of focusing on all natural, hopefully more Nebraska-based proteins to kind of fit within the culture that we have.
One more time, for those of you listening to the podcast, it's shrnetwork.biz/save25, save 25. Use the code SHR, get 25% off. As you heard, all orders of $100 or more shipped for free. It doesn't get any better than that. Delivered right to your door. You don't have to go put the mask on, stand in line to get into the store, to go buy your hamburger patties or your steaks. It comes to you. You come home, the box is sitting there. You open it up, you put the stuff in the freezer, you're ready to go. Great product, fantastic product. I love it. And I promise I will be taking more pictures whenever I eat it, because Natalie Kapitsky, who is our social media manager now, is like, Carl, when you do things like that, you got to send me pictures of it. I'll put it up on Instagram and Facebook. So I'll be better.
I'll give you a free tip here, Carl. Is make sure to get good sunlight on the product, and portrait mode can help. Helps amateur photos from your phone. But the biggest thing when I'm trying to do my own content is if you can get natural light hitting your product, it'll make it that much more beautiful.
Yeah, and I know about portrait. Because it creates almost depth. You can create depth in the portrait mode as well.
He's a big fan of portrait mode. So
he sounds like he's a good photographer to me. So.
Only me and Joe think that. I struggle to convince the rest of my team that I have the chops to be an influencer, but I just enjoy cooking and taking photos. Is just a small part of it to remember those good meals.
Yeah. Great stuff, fantastic stuff. Show them some love. They are a sponsor of the show, and I always say that the sponsors make the show possible. So whenever possible, patronize the sponsors. Again, shrnetwork.biz/save25, SAVE25. Use code SHR, 25% off, and free shipping on orders of $100 or more. And Ben just gave you the math. Buy $135 worth of product and it'll ship for free, because you'll use the coupon code and it'll be $101. That's beautiful. Nice stuff. Yeah, great product.
Well, thanks for having us, Carl. We sure appreciate it.
I love having you. I love having your product because I love being able to tout products that make me feel good. When people get it, I don't feel like I'm letting them down by promoting it. So you guys are the best. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks.
And we'll see you soon. Okay. All right, we're gonna say goodbye. I'm off the air tomorrow for Wednesday, but we have 2 great shows Thursday and Friday. So make sure to tune in then. Don't forget to share the show as often as possible. Share the show, because that helps the people that get to listen. They learn great things. And don't forget, if the show has ever done anything good for you, then please go to this URL, tap.bio/Superhuman Radio, and make a short 60-second, 45-second, I don't care what it is, a little video about what the show has done for you. Tell me your SHR story. And even if you don't like me, this is a great opportunity for you to ridicule me in front of the public, because every single video that's sent in will be shared on social media. So check it out, help us out, and we will see you tomorrow. Oh no, we'll see you Thursday with more Superhuman Radio.